Hey y'all, hey, welcome back. Welcome to Tears and Week to Rose Show with your girl Lottie here. Coming in. Whoo! Yesterday was rough, y'all. Still woke up today feeling the same type of sentiment, feeling extremely just sad. Ooh, I don't know what this is I got on my face, but we're gonna have to work that out. Still feeling very, mixed emotion. It's so hard to see people such in high profile positions, or have done well for themselves, leave the plane early. And, well, not necessarily, I mean, the time is the time when the time says, source says it's time because nothing takes life or gives life except for the source. But what is left behind is the lessons and the memories of that person, the missing their presence, and my prayers and my condolences go out to Takeoff's family and friends and confidants and all of those who have been hurt by this loss, his tragic loss. Definitely had a strong message yesterday, speaking, just to our communities, not only our brothers, but our sisters thinking as well. Because even, in the industry, we see our sisters, women who are really not what they have to portray themselves to be. Like these sex vixens and, like everything is just about the WAP, you know what I mean, or whatever. And when you get into the character and psychology of female rappers like Nicki or Megan or Cardi, they came up in ways that required them to have some assertiveness and some aggressiveness, that hustle spirit, right? God put it in us too. But the industry and how they portray women. One of the things I think that's so amazing about Nicki at this point is that she dresses herself how she wants to dress herself. Obviously, they all do have their own persona. But I don't know. I guess it's pretty much the same. What do you guys think? I mean, it's still a lot of just sexualism, right? Just sexualizing the black woman. And that is what is linked into. And it's a double-edged sword because women will come and say, oh, we have the opportunity to dress ourselves and to show our expression through our sexuality and have full autonomy, which I completely support. I mean, to each their own. Every person has a right to their autonomy and they expression. But we want to just I think about the images that it portrays. Like, do these young women, I mean, with their fans, and so they know, like that Cardi and, not Megan, but Cardi and Nicki, like these are married women. You know what I mean? Like Beyonce, she's married. She's not, so I feel like people, again, mistake the entertainment of it all and take it on as person, like this is how we're supposed to act and behave just in regular life. And it's not. It is it is a distinct difference between the business of the industry and what the population and even what the artists do on their everyday life. One of the things that I've been thinking about or just kind of digging into was even Michael Jackson. Like Michael Jackson, he kept that stage persona, like that high voice and very soft and timid, but that wasn't who he was. No. You see all kind of videos leaked out now showing Mike scoping out women, talking about titties and, I mean, excuse my, y'all heard me go down there through there. Sometimes it comes out. Pardon me, give me your grace on that. But you hear Michael being himself, like a whole person, because he was not his stage persona. That is a persona. And I think every person has a persona. You are not the same. You don't display all of your characteristics to you at one time. Did we state who we were today? Did we welcome anyone who may be new? Anybody that's new here, welcome, 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 welcome. I am Lottie. I don't think we did that. I am a channeled messenger, and I sit and speak with the Most High God. It's infinite intelligence that made and called all things, and also the breath of life, using the breath of life. Breathing techniques has a force and a power to it. So, and every time we breathe in creation and we give on to creation. So, but digging into that, it can get a little bit more complicated. Spirit says we're done with that. So, I sit in the spirit and I talk to God all day, and God talks to me. We are definitely on that Adam and Eve type walk, right? Where it's just me and the Most High and everybody else who interacts in my life, and I interact in theirs. So thank you for being here and sharing time and space with me. If you get anything from it, if you vibe, subscribe. It could be like cooking with cold Crisco. We could start slow, and then the Most High come in and turn his heat on it, and then we get to going home and cooking. And sometimes Source just wants to put something in the crock pot, and just let it simmer, something for you to chew on and gnaw on for later. So we'll see what the Source wants to do. I feel a little crock potish. Yesterday was rough. We pushed out a lot of energy. And Takeoff's death was personal to me. Ooh. I know, Father. It put me back into a personal space because I lost a loved one in that fashion. Not that he has super, big money, but when you're talking about you come from the hood and you hustling in the hood, people acquire a little bit of change, and then they was gambling, dice game, same thing, and folks get to losing and arguing and, oh, I spotted you, you didn't spot me type of thing. And before you know it, folks is pulling out guns. And my cousin, my baby, he was raised in my household. Basically, my mother, cared for him just like he was her son. And he was at our house pretty much more than he was home. And when he was home, we was at his house. Him and my baby brother are like this. It was devastating for our family. It was devastating. And it still is. And it's been over 10 years. To go back and to see, again, those examples makes you relive the trauma all over again. And these are instances that you cannot readily just purge out of your system. Because every time his heavenly birthday comes up, every time the anniversary of his shooting, every time the anniversary of his death, we go through every day and every year without him, wondering what his potentiality would have been. And what has changed in the 10 years since his passing? Nothing. Just more death, more loss. I can count on my family's Facebook page. They do a lot of posting, and that's beautiful because we get to see each other. And I'm not a big social media person, but to engage now because I'm doing messages. But to see them and the children is so heartwarming. Because I've always lived far away. I was the one that took off, and it's like I'm going to see what else is out here. The opportunity knocks, so I'm gonna take it. And I've lived in a couple of different states, from Michigan to Arizona to California, and now I'm in upstate New York. So we move around. And all of that moving, you get a chance to see the Most High. You get a chance to meet people and see how people experience life. At least different from where you were, where you came from, right? What you were originally raised in. And in those differences, it's like kind of, I guess, what men go through when they leave the States and they see how women act in different places, and it's like, oh, the culture of women is so different, right? The culture of people is different across this great country, and we are a big, huge, beautiful melting pot. Like, there is so much good to go along with all the grief, right? It's not, I can't think of too many places I would rather be than in the States. Even with everything that's going on, I would probably still choose to be here. And of course, we know this country is just so to be mindful and to exercise our rights is critically important. It really is. A lot of the things that we need to have our voices heard on is going to be in our state and local elections. Those things that really impact your daily life. So I will just offer from the source, that we exercise our rights. We raise our voice to those things that give us pause, that dig at you, so that you can put your passion there and see, most likely that's your purpose. If you have a passion in that area, how do you transmute that energy and work some magic, so that you can affect change? And to any of those I may have offended yesterday, my apologies. No need, no, not the intent to offend. However, the feelings and the thoughts were very genuine and authentic, and for those I do not apologize for. Maybe the delivery was rough, and that is always, my intent is to bring people to the table for conversation. And I don't know, how that came across to those, and if they would be offended for that again, that was not the intent. Thank you, Holy Father, for these cards. Thank you for the messages that you will bring from them. Thank you for using them as a tool. Thank you for me, myself, being a willing, surrendered vessel onto you for the purpose of delivering messages for self-edification, for edification unto you, Father, our source, and also messages unto your wheat field for their edification, so that they may edify you, and we may unite over a common cause, a purpose, which is to raise our vibrations, to raise our frequency, so that we may match your frequency, Holy Father, so that we can come into unity with that and with you. And until that day arrives, please protect us, guide us, Father, along this path. Help us to manifest what it is that we're supposed to be doing, aligning our passion with our purpose. Is there anything else I should pray? Please seal out anything that would distort or disillusion this message, and seal it with your Ashe. Ashe. Thank you guys for sitting with me through that prayer. We'll have a couple of more of them just as we go through each deck of cards. Spirit does not allow me, the Father. We ain't doing no whole deck, just one prayer over everything. We got to pray over each deck. Each deck deserves its attention and respect and honor, and we will do that. Yes, we do. So I hope you guys, again, are able to rock with this, ride with me. I've been a student of spirituality and religion, and how the source speaks to the plane for over 20 years. I guess probably my whole life, pretty much. But definitely digging down, I say my whole life because my two grandparents were pastors. We had a family church. I was raised Christian, Baptist. One of my grandmothers, she was evangelist, so had heavy real Christian influence in the household, and yeah, we had a family church and all that stuff. So I grew up, watching my grandfather at the pulpit. I grew up standing in the choir since I was old enough to remember, having other people clap my hands on beat, because I just wasn't even big enough yet to catch the rhythm, yeah. You want this card? No. Yeah, so to get into the study of religion, did that, like I said, about 20 years ago, really digging into world religions and studying how the source has spoken to us. It's the creation, all over the plane. And I believe that the source has left its word on everything. It called the infinite, it called us and made creation by its intelligence, its cosmic mind, the grand mind. And that intelligence is written on everything that is created. And so if we can look and decipher and see the intelligence written on that thing, we can understand its design. We can see, the intelligence in that, basically. We done woke up, y'all. And we done prayed. Now it's time to get about the business of the day. Father, what say you? You have a card for your wheat field? Is there something that you would like for me to say? No? All right. Here's the card, y'all. Father says you already have the answers. We are on a voyage. We are. We are on a voyage. Is there another card here? No. Spirit says that's it. Spirit source says we are on a voyage here. Let's see if I can push this down. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm not so, is that better? Sorry, guys. My apologies. Not sorry. My apologies. Spirit says we are on a voyage here. We are on a voyage. And you already have the answers. Like most of us already know what it is. We know that we are on a journey to come into alignment with the Most High God, or that you have a purpose in your life, right? So even if you are not a person that is very religious, but just highly spiritual, or maybe you're a person who is of an atheistic faith where they understand and leaning into self, right? And self edification again applies. How do you strengthen your affirmations and knowing that you have goals that you are driving to, and those goals are calling you to your highest good. They are for your growth and for you to reach the best you, and then something that you can serve out into your community and help them as well. So if you're on that track itself, then yeah, that's a whole nother thing. And Spirit says you already have the answers, beloved. You do. So whatever it is that you are working on, or that you're journeying to, our end destination, we already have the answers. And I think self-discovery is a big piece of that. Again, a lot of people who are in that atheistic type of faith, always self-discovery. Not leaning into something else or what they can, because they can't feel it, they can't see it, but they can see self and they can feel self. And then, so that right there is a whole thing. Did you want anything out of there? Just, just energy. Also, give you guys a heads up. Sometimes my mic stop. Do you want any one of these? Both of them? Okay, both. Do you want another card? No. Okay. Sometimes you'll hear static. The static is due to the energy that's in my space. It is not my microphone. I've tried at least 2 different microphones. I got one over there. I got one over here. And another one in the box over there. I have at least 3. It is not my microphone. It is the energy in the room. So if you can rock with that and you can hang out through it, please do. Completion. Completion marks honoring something that has passed away. And we started with that today. We started honoring Takeoff. I wish I knew that man's real name, but I don't. I just know that he's a member of the Migos, and I know that they are a pretty iconic rap group, like for the last 10-15 years or something like that almost. And the music industry and the sound of music and the resonance and the beat of it is definitely different and changed because of their unique style and their contribution. The fact that they came up and pulled themselves away from some pretty heavy stuff, and the fact that he was taken or passed away in that incidents like that is tough. Also, in the same way, my cousin passed. In honoring his passing, and others that are passing due to gun violence. Gun violence in the States is a huge thing. Like whether it is shooting, like what happened to this young man or my cousin, or the children at these schools. Whether it is freaking Sandy Hook or Columbine, or come on, it's like, I remember when I was in high school and we had to go through metal detectors. I think students kids in the inner cities still do that. Joy. Spirit says joy is in reverse. It's definitely hard to have joy right now when it's so much grief. So much grief. And we do have answers to stop some of this grief. We do. And I believe that that is a part of what the day is calling us to do. Like, to come together. It was so many people that we saw on social media yesterday speaking out about a couple of things that has just really run amok in today's society. From the fact of why are we still doing things that we are being called away from, things that lead us to our detriment and to our demise. You know, what is the insidiousness behind that? Because it's not just something that is happening for no reason. It's systematic. It's something to that we should be paying attention to. And then also the fact that we don't have. Thank you, Father, for the use of these cards. Please Wednesday, we're ready for today's session. Please bless the cards and use them as a tool from your messages unto your email, unto to you. Unification, and we unite in unification back up to you. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's something. Why do we still continue the same behavior patterns even when we don't have to? Like, it's because we have taken those behavior patterns on this culture when they are not. We spoke a lot about yesterday. I was really upset at the fact that this young man was even in the area. You know, why are we doing that? But you know, again, we can go back to the imagery of women. You know, do we have to dress ourselves in such a way that says that all that we are to be, you know, beautiful or smart? And I'm not smart, because they could get less than two shits about your intelligence, but beautiful and sexy and submissive. It's because everything is about BBLs these days. Nobody is okay with like their naturalness, or you know, just I'm a regular schmegular woman. You know, that's it. Like, I'm just a whole, authentic, genuine woman. You know, I don't understand why we have to pump ourselves up with all of these plastics and fillers and so much cosmetic surgery that you don't even, you know, it's almost like, is it self-hatred? What is it? Because these women appear to love themselves. They do. The self-esteem is there, but I feel like it's misplaced almost. Like, more again on the outside and not the inside. And it's not like they don't develop their insides either, because look at them. They're smart. Cardi is smart. She's highly intelligent. Megan is highly intelligent. And you're talking about the ambition and assertiveness to really push out, like, content and tour and finish a degree, and all while going through heavy loss and trauma all at the same time. This is what the community itself is dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Some people are dealing with it, and some people have, yeah, Father, some people have just given up, you know. And there's a lot of people who are just really sad, you know. You know, especially with this joy in reverse, you have the answers. Things are dying, and the answers are coming out of things that are transitioning. You have the answers to why things are dying, why we can keep experiencing so much grief. I feel like we already know the why, which is true. We do know the why. We know why we are experiencing so much death and so much grief. We do. It's all about what we're going to do with it. What's hidden from us, Father? What's hidden? Is there anything else y'all should pray? No. What's hidden? Get your force in here. What's lit? What's hidden? This is upside down. Is it supposed to be upside down? Father says emotions are running high is in reverse. Deck is right. Father says emotions running high is in reverse. Why? Father says we have a slow emotional change. Yeah, again, I feel like that giving up kind of thing. Like we are so accustomed to grief and to trauma that we just move through it like it's an everyday occurrence. Yeah, we get mad for the moment and we develop beautiful hashtags, like we said before, Black Lives Matter and things like that. But the emotion that and the energy behind truly showing that our lives matter, even onto self, is slow. Slow to change. Slow to change, I feel Father saying. Is there anything else in this deck? No. Father says that's it. Slow to change. Emotions are not running high. People have given up. Given up. I feel acceptance of the grief, acceptance of the trauma, that like that's what we are destined to experience and there's nothing that we can truly do about it. Is that what you're saying? No, what are you saying? Slow to change emotional state. Slow to change the emotional state. Ashe. That's what Father says. Yeah. Father says that we are slow to change our emotional state. I just feel like we are stuck in the grief, like not processing grief. And how can we truly move through all the phases of grief when you are stuck in a grief pattern? It's almost moving from anger, sadness to anger to denial, back to anger, back to denial, back to anger, to sadness. It's like almost in a cycle, and we never get through all of the stages of grief. Unable to get through the stages of grief because there's always a new incidence of grief. You want this? Yeah. Clear, cancel, and release is what Father says. We don't have the ability to clear, cancel, and release because it's always another incident coming. Do you want another card? Okay. This one? Is it close? Yeah, healing. Healing energy is what's needed. Healing energy is what's needed. Healing. Healing for his family. Healing for all of our families. Healing for all of us. For any one of us, for all of us. We all experience these things. This is like group trauma. It is. We are all connected. Do you want anything else? No. Thank you. Thank you. It's like group trauma. It's how come everybody can feel it. And everybody will have their own visceral reactions. You know,